Hey everybody, welcome. Welcome
What's
to
going on?
This is it. This is the Community Live Lounge. We felt like we need to start with a bang. Um,
hmm
we are here with you giving the very first take of many first takes for the keynote that just happened. How did we all feel about the keynote? A lot of awesome stuff happening today.
I thought it was fabulous. I was pumped. I'm excited to kind of get in and explore and talk about all this stuff. It's going to be blast.
Yes, I am very excited as well. To get into the mood, though, I do need to wipe my desk off because it's covered in confetti now, which feels right for all the new fun that's going to be happening today.
I agree.
Let's go ahead and introduce ourselves.
Mhm.
My co-host here, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is VooDoo Val. I am an illustrator and I'm also a mentor in the Adobe community. I teach a lot of daily creative challenges. You folks have probably seen me moderating in chat, kind of an all-around Adobe community person. And I'm pumped for today. And you, Andrew, who are you? What are you about? What do you do?
Hello, my name is Andrew Hochradel. I am a creative for hire, which means I'll do pretty much anything creative as long as you pay me. I love doing creative content here, educating and helping you all maximize your creativity and help to do the Adobe thing where we bring creativity to all.
Mhm.
Val, real quick, if people want to find you and see more of your life, where can they find you?
You folks can find me on Instagram, on Twitter. You can also follow me on Behance, where I have my portfolio. If you'd like to get a hold of me, best place to send me a message is on Twitter because I'm very active over there. You can see my work, projects, things, Instagram, Behance, any of those places. What about you, Andrew?
And for
Where can
me,
we
you can
find
follow me anywhere on the internet, hoch.co, HOCHDOTCO, no punctuation there. And we can get into some antics and have some fun.
Mhm.
Speaking of antics and fun,
I'm
boy, do we
pumped.
have some for you today.
Woo!
We are going to be having so much fun today, and we're going to be showing off some of the stuff that we talked about in that keynote that just happened. Chat, I want to hear what you loved about the keynote. What was the most amazing stuff that you saw in that keynote? And Val, what was your favorite thing to start us off?
My favorite thing is one of the first things we're going to be getting into. I love the sharing and collaboration of the Photoshop files and Photoshop web and all of those things. I think is really great. I'm also very excited for updates to neural filters. What about you?
Yes. I think I'm excited about Illustrator stuff. I'm a type
Mhm.
nerd. And so we're going to get into a bunch of that and a bunch of vectorize that is coming to Illustrator on
Mm.
iPad. That's all that I do. I love doing real life textures, real life type, and then vectorizing it. And we're going to be doing some of that today. Now,
Yes.
before we get started, I do want to hop over onto my screen and show a little update for all of you that are watching of how you can join us in what
Mhm.
we're doing today. Now, if you're just joining or you're just watching the keynote and you saw some awesome stuff, on my screen, I have the Creative Cloud desktop app. And the Creative Cloud desktop app is where you're going to go to get all of the updates. So if you have auto updates turned on, great. That's awesome. If not, then you need to go here. So you're going to click on your little face up here, and you can go to preferences and turn on auto update right there. We'll update everything for you. Or you can simply go through and see all of the new updates that are for you in this zone. So we want you to download them with us and design
Mhm.
along with us. Val, when did you get access to these programs that we're showing today?
I set my alarm for 6 in the morning and I got up bright and early and I jumped in here and I went to my updates page and I made sure that I was downloading all of the apps that I had to make sure I could jump into them as soon as possible. So that was my
Yes.
morning routine this morning.
Same. So we are just like you guys. We're here, a part of the community, and we have just gotten these apps, played around with the features, and that's what we'll be doing during the stream today. So if something gets wonky, if something gets weird, if we hit a wrong button, hopefully you are too, and you're experiencing it along with us because that's what this stream is all about. So download these programs, follow along with us, and let's just play and get creative together. Where are we going to start with all of these apps? It's
We're
right
gonna
there on the top.
Yeah, we're gonna start in Photoshop. I'm gonna pop over here to my screen and I'm gonna pull up Photoshop. And the first thing I'm gonna show you folks is how you can get started bright and early. So you've just hopefully updated your Photoshop and you're probably wondering what's new. You may have gotten a little window at the start of your Photoshop screen screen letting you know what is new. But just in case you didn't, or if you sort of closed out of that and you want to get back to that help page, all you have to do is go up to the very top of your window, hit help, and you can say what's new in Photoshop. So let's jump into the what's new, and it will pull up this nice little window for you that will actually give you a really cool rundown of all the things that are brand new in Photoshop this morning. We've got some really awesome selection stuff that we're going to be going over. We've got some excellent capabilities with pasting things from Illustrator into Photoshop, which is I'm so pumped for that because I am not predominantly an Illustrator designer. I work mostly in Photoshop, which is my bread and butter. So being able to paste things from Instagram perfectly into Photoshop is excellent. We're going to dive into neuro filters, which is awesome. We'll show off some of the share and capability with sharing files and kind of collaborating on things. And we'll go over some of the other enhancements, the little things that have been sort of added and improved. So first thing,
we're going to talk about pretty much all the things that were just mentioned in the keynote closer on to the end of the stream, kind of go over. Today, we're really going to be focusing on Photoshop and Illustrator and the compatibility and collaboration between those two. Creative Cloud is so much more than just the apps. It's this whole ecosystem of creativity and collaboration. So we're going to show you the new filters and all the fun stuff in the apps, but also how to collaborate with other people, because that's a huge part of our workflow as creatives. So Val, let's jump into Photoshop and take a look at what's new.
Yes. Okay. So the first thing that I am going to do is I'm actually going to create something that I can share with you, Andrew. So what I'd like to do is I'm gonna sneak in our update for the pasting from Illustrator to Photoshop. And I'm going to show you folks, I'm just going to grab, this is a really cool graphic that I found on Adobe stock. And I'm going to select this. I'm going to Control-C to copy, or Command-C if you're on a Mac, just to copy that real quick. And I'm going to start creating something that I can share with Andrew. So over here in Photoshop, I just have to Control-V and paste. And one of the things that you'll notice when you do this for the first time is usually you have Smart Object Pixel Path Shape Layer whenever you're pasting, but you now have layers in here now. So I can select layers, and are you ready for this? I'm going to go ahead and let it convert colors for me. Boom. I'm going to kind of make this a little larger so that we can see this nice and big. And here's the kicker right here. So I have this group in my Photoshop now, and I can open it. And it's got literally everything. Everything is here. I'm not pasting a flat image. I'm not pasting this, an item. I'm pasting all of it.
It's like it's like the Smash Bros of creativity, right? Everyone's here.
Yes, everything is here. So this is gonna, for me, I know this is gonna like boost my my workflow exponentially. If you've ever been in that situation where you jump onto Adobe stock and you grab something and you're a Photoshop user, but when you grab it, it usually wants to auto open in Illustrator. It's a vector file. It's got a bunch of layers and things in it, but if you're not super comfortable in in Illustrator, you want to jump into your bread and butter, into Photoshop, and now you can edit everything totally on its own. You can separate things out, hide things. It's amazing.
What I'll probably use this for is shading stuff. I love to build in Illustrator, and there are awesome new 3D capabilities that are in Illustrator, which we'll look at, but I love building layers and then coming in and adding like a little custom shadow or some stippling, and it will be so easy to do that now, just breaking out those layers and bringing them into Photoshop.
I see Miss Chips Ahoy in the chat is like paste everything in an easily editable format all at once. Yes, cool guy emoji sunglasses, 100%.
It is very cool guy emoji sunglasses.
So now maybe I should share something with you. What do you want to take a file from me?
Let's do it. Yeah. If I could work on that, that'd be great. And again, Creative Cloud is so much more than just the apps that you use. It is a lot of collaboration, right? Everything exists in the cloud and works within that cloud. And so how are we going to share? What are we going to do here with sharing?
Well, if you go up into the top right corner of your your app, you will see a little share button and you can click that. And I do have Andrew added here, but if you need to invite people to edit, all you need to have is their email address and you can throw it in here and you will be able to add them to your document so that they can edit and share. And then you can just copy a link for that and I can send that link to my buddy. So if I want to come over here to Andrew, I'm going to send this to you on the handy dandy Slack, because that's probably what I would do if I was working with you on a project. Hey, Andrew, can you check this out?
Check this out. So you could share with me, yes, for review, but if you want to go ahead and just save that and close it, it actually, because you have shared it with me there and added my email, it actually is going to show up on my Photoshop homepage. So if you can close that out, then I will be able to open it.
Let's pop over to Andrew's screen then, so he can take a look at it.
Yep, give me just a second, and we'll open that.
So you have a link, a nice link that you can share, and then you also, if you're sharing to somebody with who is logged into their Creative Cloud, they will get an update saying so and so has shared X, Y, and Z with you. And there it is. There it is.
Keynote recap. It has been updated 1 hour ago, so it is probably syncing from the cloud. Let me go ahead and click on it and see if we can open. It may take a second to sync that through.
There it goes.
Is downloading the document. Oh, here, I'll bring this over so you guys can see it. Ooh, anticipation. And there we go. So literally this is what Val just did. And it is fully editable in all these groups. So I can turn things off if I need to, and we can collaborate back and forth very, very easily.
Yes.
Now there's another feature with this share that we're actually going to show on Illustrator when we get back to it. But this is collaboration at its finest. Right here in Photoshop, we can go back and forth with these cloud docs and work together. And let's say that I want to maybe add a layer on top of this, right? And so I'm going to add in a layer that is just a nice little pink, and we're going to multiply that down, right? Nice. And I think that looks great. I'm going to save this. And when I save this, it's going to sync to the Creative Cloud. I am going to go ahead and close it. And in just a second, Val will be able to open it. So we're going to close that. And Val, let's hop back to your screen.
Okay.
And see if it has updated live.
Give me 1 second. I'm going to need to close this. Let's pop back over and look at Andrew's, just so I can, because I'm going to need to let it load just a little bit. But in the meantime, one of the things that we can talk about is what this kind of opens up for us, right?
Yes.
Because when you're doing all of these things, here we go. It's doing my little syncing. There it goes. When you're doing all of this really allows you to collaborate across vast distances, to be able to tell somebody to change something right quick and get something done on the fly. If you're, kind of in that crunch time, meeting that deadline with a team full of people, it just allows you to really get things done pretty quickly. And that's going to be great. I'm excited. The collaboration on this is insane. So what is the next thing that we are going to take a look at? Because
I think we're going to take a journey through the seasons, if I believe.
Yes, we are. So one of the things that I said that I was really looking forward to checking out after this keynote was the neural filters. And the neural filters is somewhat of a time machine. It's kind of a teleporter time machine sort of thing. And for those of you who are like, what does that mean? What are you talking about? We're going to show you. I'm going to group this stuff together and I'm going to hide that. I'm going to pull up my Adobe stock image that I have here. And we're gonna teleport around. We're gonna time travel through the seasons real quick. So if you come up to filter, and you go and make sure I'm selected on the proper layer and go to neural filters, we can jump into a lot of really awesome brand new things that you can jump into for neural filters. We're gonna focus on colorize and landscape mixer for now. So let's jump into landscape mixer. So if I come over here, all you have to do when you jump into neural filters to be able to start using one of these awesome features is just to make sure that on the right hand side of each one of these, you just click the download button, go ahead and take a look at it. And so here we go. I'm going to make sure I have landscape mixer toggled on.
Oh yeah, where do we want to go first?
Yeah, let's see. I'm thinking we go to summer. Should we go to summer?
Let's go to
summer.
Yeah,
let's go to summer. I'm gonna go ahead and just slide this over here. We'll do the summer slider. Let's let that load for just a moment, and then let's see what it looks like in summer after we jump out of our time machine now that we can teleport back and forth through the seasons. Boom. Not a huge change because it's kind of a summary image. Okay?
It's a little summary.
But,
Where do we want to go
next? It's a little
next?
summer. It's a little warm. I feel like I want to go into winter. I'm kind of sick and tired of all of the warm weather, and I'd like some snow. I think it's time for some snow. So let's crank up the winter gauge, and let's bring ourselves into winter. That's what I need.
Ready.
I need some like winter wonderland vibes. Ooh, are you cold?
I'm freezing because we have traveled through the neural filters into the winter.
Boom. Ooh. Oh, that is so good.
What?
That is so legit.
No compositing. No compositing.
Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is amazing. Now let's see. I feel like we could come into spring. I feel like spring is a vibe right now. So let's jump into spring.
Ready for the garden.
Yeah.
Take me there.
It's gardening time. Let's kind of springify it and see what that looks like. Give it a little bit of time. And then we also have boom. So it's a little greener.
Hazier. Yeah, a little greener.
Now I'm thinking I'd like to go into autumn, but before we go into autumn, I think you should make sure you don't have your sunglasses on. We don't need sunglasses because we're about to sunset this image. We're going to crank it up.
So ready.
And kind of make this a evening scene from its bright awesomeness.
Just pour some pumpkin spice on it.
I think that's a great idea. Yes.
Sprinkle.
Perfect. Boom. There we got our sunset. So it's very romantic now. It's very tranquil and peaceful. And then the last place we're going to teleport to is we are going to go into autumn, the spooky season, my favorite season of all time. We're going to crank it up into autumn and check that out. I think this one may be actually my favorite one. Flare, these are some powerful sliders. This is insane. Look at that. Look, oh man.
I want to go to there.
I want to go to there too. I love the Liz Lemon shout out there. Right? Thank you. You are my friend 100%.
Yes, we need to.
Okay, so this is okay. I just love being able to like kind of look and see how it's changed all of our trees and everything. We even have, it didn't just make all these trees green, or from green to orange. It actually gave us this nice variation. We've got some reds in there. It's very convincing. So check out the neural filters. We can also jump into colorize just real quick. I know we spent a lot of time on our teleportation segment, but we can jump into colorize. And let me make sure I have that toggled on. And you can come in here and you can change the profile. If you want to change profile, we can go to like retro purple yellow if we want, and change some color profiles. We can come into the sliders, and we can go through the sliders. And I actually think that this is really, really great. I'm used to color bucketing in layers of color and trying to edit colors in a really smart way. And this is just, I feel like this is just crispy and nice, and it gives you a lot of control over how you are coloring your image. So it's a lot of fun. Please jump in here.
We have a question from our friend Productions in the chat. And that was just at 64%. What's it like at 100? That's a good question for you to figure out, because we want you to download these, play around with them. So I want you, Productions, I expect to see this. Go open Photoshop, crank it all the way up to 100%, and then post on social media. You can post on Behance, Twitter, hashtag Adobe MAX, and show us what you are creating. You can tag Val or I if you want. We'd love to give you feedback, give you our thoughts. But the idea is that we're all creating together, and especially with these neural filters, just go have fun. Just go drag them all to 100 and see what happens. And post that on a story, tag Adobe MAX. We want to see what you create, because again, we want creativity for everybody, including you, Productions, and Dorina and Miss Chips Ahoy, all of you over there in chat. You need to be creative too.
100%. Okay, so let's kind of dive into, because we've got some other cool stuff that I want to show off in here. So for all of you designers out there who are doing product images, and maybe you're making mock-ups, maybe you are showing off some cool items, and you're compositing things into different scenes, whatever it is that you're doing, you probably have needed a quick selection tool. And the quick selection tool is one of my favorite selection tools. I love being able to do that. But as you folks probably know, sometimes when you use the quick selection tool, things aren't as crispy as we would like. And frequently I end up having to use quick selection, and then I go in with the lasso tool and clean it up, which is easy for me because I have a stylus. Yeah, I've got a stylus, but it's not easy for you if you have a mouse. So I've got some fancy stuff for you today.
Everyone, if you're standing up right now, just go ahead and sit down. Just sit down.
Just take a seat.
This is mind numbing. Val, show us what you got.
Okay, so I'm going to come over here to the left-hand side and snag my option selection tool, which is also W on your keyboard. If you hit W and you don't find it, just right click over here and you can get the object selection tool, which may be behind quick selection or magic wand. And I'm going to come over here, make sure I'm selected on my fruit layer. And I really would like to grab this mangosteen. So I'm just going to click it. Ooh. Yes.
It hovers.
Look at this. Yes. All of these. I can hover over all of this stuff and it will just give me what I want. So maybe I'll click that. Maybe I want that little, I don't even know what kind of fruit that is, but I'm going to Control J.
It's a selected fruit. That's what it is.
It's a selecting fruit. Yes. And then I think I also want the star fruit. Maybe the star fruit looks cool. I think the star fruit looks good. So let's grab the star fruit. And then let's also grab, I think it's called a mangosteen. I'm pretty sure that is what it's called. If somebody, I'm not a fruit expert. I'm here for Photoshop. I don't know.
Mangosteen sounds like a celebrity as well as a delicious fruit.
Yeah, maybe I'm actually going to snag this pomegranate. So I'm going to grab all those. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure they're smart objects. And then I can come over here and I can make myself this nice lineup of fruit. And as you can see, when I transform these larger, these selections are crispy.
That
folks.
is crispy.
These are great.
Crispy.
They are so crispy. So I literally, this is has been one of the things that is difficult for me, kind of going through. And I know that some people have a hard time getting really clean selections. So not only is it super, super easy just to go in and literally tap on what you're looking to select and hover over things in your scene so that you can snag it, but it also is even improved on how accurate it is with it's selecting. So
that's insane.
Yes, you should check this out. It's really amazing. You are not going to regret it because it is probably one of my new favorite things. Neurofilters, selections, and sharing files.
Yep, it works really, really well on the white backgrounds, but it also works really well on complex backgrounds. I think the demo that they showed in the keynote used a horse, and it was just like, here's a horse.
Here you go.
100%. I was watching and looking at the GIFs and it did it. And I was like, whose horse is that? Because
it's my house
just
now.
suddenly masked 3 horses. There you go. It was absolute magic. And there are tools to be able to mask a whole bunch of things at the same time as well. There's a ton that is new in Photoshop. And something that someone had asked about that is Photoshop on the web. Val, do we want to show that real quick and how people can kind of get there? And if you're looking for any other apps or the Illustrator on web, it is in closed beta, but it is a beta that you can apply for. So I'm sure one of our mods can drop that link in there. You can click and apply for the beta and get in there and start using all of the programs that you love wherever you are. So that link will be dropping for you. Go apply because it will be a super great experience.
Yeah, give me one moment. I'm going to pull this up. And in the meantime, maybe we can talk about what you are, because this is going to be one of the last things that we go over for Photoshop.
Dope. All right.
However, maybe we can talk about what you're going to be diving into in just a moment.
Oh, me?
Yes, who you?
I know, right? Actually, let's do this real quick. So let's talk about the Community Live Lounge, which is where you are right now. This is Community Live. Wow. And it is a part of a larger ecosystem. So throughout the week, literally every week, Adobe Live is live pretty much every day with content for you. And today is no exception. We have a ton of content coming up at max.adobe.com/community. We're starting at 1 p.m. until 4 p.m. today and tomorrow. And there's going to be meet the speakers. There's going to be some behind the scenes, some first takes, even more in depth on some of these programs. So make sure you stick around for those. And here's the schedule. We've got photography with Christy Odom up at 1. Then we're hanging out with graphic design with our friend Cloudy at 1:30. And meet the Max speaker with Aaron Draplin and myself. I'll be there hosting and interviewing Aaron Draplin at 2 p.m. Illustrator with Kathleen Martin at 2:30, which we're about to get a little bit into. And then we're hanging out with Ken Lashley at 3 and Katrin Eisman, at 3:30. So you can get all of those in the Community Live Lounge and hang out with us. And outside of that, even if you're coming back in future times, behance.net/live always has amazing content and live streams for you all day for you to learn and level up your skills.
That is where we live. We live there.
We live there. That's my
Behance.
home.
That is where I go after this.
That is my home. All right. So do we want to hop into Photoshop Web, or do we want to hop into some of the Illustrator stuff?
Yeah, I'm going to just show off how you can like leave comments and things on Photoshop files and all that good stuff. We've got links in the chat so that you can jump into the betas and all that stuff. And I'm not going to show too much, but I would like to show how I can leave a comment for somebody here on the web and circle some things that I want changed, and then also do an open in if I decide that I want to open this in one of our desktop apps. So I've got my fruit that I've selected here. And if I decide that I would like to change something, maybe I want to let somebody know that, you know what, I'm not really feeling this. I can circle that and I can say, hey, not feeling this fruit. Maybe I want something that is circular along with all that stuff. Maybe find a new one. And I can go ahead and say submit. And what it will do is it will actually, if I hover over this, it will actually highlight what that is, and it'll tell me which comment is kind of corresponding to, and I can share that. Yep,
we'll get into this a little bit in Illustrator as well to show how it's actually integrated into the user interface now. And so we'll show Val can comment on my file and whatnot, but specifically with Photoshop, there is a very special button up at the top there, yes, where it says open in. Val, do you want to do the honors?
Yep. Oh, Photoshop on the web beta, or you can open it in your desktop, but we can kind of jump into this. It kind of gives you some little prompts here, but we can actually open this up and dive into this, which is excellent. So I do have it open in another place. So I'm going to go ahead and say view only, and that's only because I have the Photoshop file open here in my Photoshop. So if I go ahead and save this and just go ahead and close that down, I can come over here and it says immediately, you may now edit this document. So I can actually come over here. Yep, real time, and go ahead and edit everything. And let me make sure that it's going to let me open. I might have to shut it down over here as well.
And this isn't beta, and the web apps are for quick edits. So if you need to do a quick edit, move some things around, do something on the go, it's super helpful for that, to do a quick edit, especially with a collaborator if you're sending to them, for them to be able to open that and just work with it very quickly.
Small things, quick things. I can come in here. I've got my toolbar on the side. So maybe I just want the file to be just our little guy right here, and it'll crop for us. I could come in there and I could grab a color and I could drop a color in the background and do some quick edits. And then I can share it to somebody. I can leave a new comment and say, hey, I've done this. Or I could just open it in desktop and go ahead and edit it with the full version of desktop. Ooh, somebody is...
Magic. Yeah. It's time for magic.
It's time for magic. The Photoshop on the web segment is over, and now we're going to transition over into the Illustrator stuff. Let's check out Illustrator.
So let's get out of computers. Let's step away and go mobile. That's right. We're going on to iPad, Illustrator on iPad right now. If we want to switch over to my screen, I am going to reconfigure my desk a little bit so that we are a little better set up for my Illustrator setup. Please don't fall. We don't need that here on the live.
If you fall, I will dance and we will be fine. Don't worry.
Thank you. All right. So I am here on my screen and I have my trusty Apple Pencil. I will be using this within, you can see here that it has all of my cloud documents saved in my Illustrator on iPad. So I'm going to go ahead and open this Max Stream file that I've created before. It's going to create that preview for me. Thinking. All right, here we are. We are in Illustrator on iPad. Look at the magic. And there are some new things that are happening here. The first that you'll actually see over on the side, there is a dot on a little comment section. And this is brand new in this program. We can click on that comment. And as Val and I were prepping for this, there was an element there that we didn't like, right? And so because she's a collaborator, she was able to make a comment and it's integrated right into Illustrator. I can see what she's talking about, what she's highlighting, and I've already made that edit. So we'll do a share again at the end to show how that integrates. But
you can
no
actually
longer
resolve it if you like, since you've changed it. So I believe boom, and you can just ta-da.
Yep. So no need for feedback and emails anymore. You can do it all on the web with a client, and it integrates directly into your document. So you can see it there both on web and on desktop, which is incredible. So there are two things that I really want to show off here in Illustrator on iPad. And there are a ton of new features. There are some rulers integrated that you can play around with as well, just for detail. But the one that I'm really excited about is blends. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a new circle here. And we're just going to draw out that circle. Looks good to me. And let's say that we want to do maybe two colors in like a gradient, right? So what we can do is check this out. We're going to go ahead and fill this with a yellow.
Okay.
By just grabbing, I'm going to turn off our stroke right there. There we go. And now we have one shape. Wow, we did it. Great. But check this out. We're going to go ahead and draw another circle right over here. And this is going to be a little bit of a different. It's going to be more of an oval. Okay. So now what I can do, check this out, is just like in desktop, I can select both of these with just a selection. And I'm going to come over here to our repeat panel. And you're maybe familiar with the great feature of radial repeat, right? That just kind of kicked things around. So we have a new kind of repeat, not grid, not mirror. We have a blend. And what it's going to do is it's going to use that magic Adobe Sensei technology to basically tell Illustrator, start with this shape and get to this shape and just figure out in between, right? We don't have to worry about that because Illustrator does it for us. So we click on blend and boom.
Yes.
It finally happened. We got blends. And so check this out. It is actually live. So I can grab one of these by just double tapping and move it around. And you can see the blend between the two seamlessly working. Now, how I would use this is I would use it with type to create like a long shadow or kind of an extruded effect, which would be really fun because if you change this color, it is going to seamlessly smooth those colors out. And as you can see, it seems to be going a different way. All I need to do is double click this. And I am going to move this around. Come on. Jump out. There we go. I can click and drag this to wherever I need it. Now,
I love it.
If we want more color, so let's go ahead and zoom in here. Maybe we want less color on this. We can grab this slider on the side here, and you can see as we slide down, it's going to give us different colors. As we slide up, it's going to give us more of a kind of transitioned look. So you can do all kinds of different, it's really great to actually do color palettes with this. One of my favorite things is to do blends to grab color palettes.
You are brilliant. That is genius.
So let's say that we want to do a sunset, right? This is what I love to do is we know the sun is usually yellow and then it fades to kind of this red. Boom, sunset palette.
Oh my gosh, you're brilliant. I'm so excited.
Yes. So that is blends in Illustrator on iPad. Great tool. And again, I would love to use it with type. But when we're talking about type, the thing that I want to show you is my favorite thing. And chat, if we can get like a drum roll in chat, I don't know how you can drum roll in chat, but if we can get a drum roll in chat, here's the best feature that I've ever seen
or
in
at least
my life.
Some eye emojis. I want to know that you folks are sitting up and ready for the magic that is about to come.
Yes. The Adobe overlords have blessed us with Vectorize. That's right. Yes. Vectorize is here in iPad on Illustrator. It is Illustrator on iPad. That's what it's called. So we can come in here and I'm just going to bring in some type that I drew on a Post-it.
I want you to know that Cody Bear did just put a snare drum emoji in the chat. We have it.
Yes. So you can see this is what I drew on a sticky note before we started. I was excited for Max. I just took a Sharpie and drew it on there. So I can come back to my iPad and I'm just going to go to Photos and bring in that sticky note. So here's my sticky note, but I want it to be vector. I want to be able to work with it as a vector and not like a raster image. On desktop, we have had image trace. Now a hole in the world is opening with Vectorize. Check this out. What we're going to do is in the bottom left, you can see this little circle on the very bottom of my toolbar down there. Little circle that starts with pixels and moves to vectors. And yes, Cody Bear has got it. We are going to enhance. So I'm going to click on this little tap right there. Boom. I didn't even do anything. I just tapped. Just gave it a little tap.
Just touched it.
It's a little tap.
Oh my gosh.
And so with that, it has taken and vectorized that for me. Now I can go in here and see what I want. There are different settings between line art, logo, painting. So let's do logo and see if it changes. It's processing, thinking about it. And let's see. There are also different color modes. You can do more complex color modes, but as you get more complex, we will get more complex vectors, basically. So I kind of want to keep this simple. Look at that. That is vector. That is vectorized. It looks like it is raster, but it is vectorized. If we zoom in here, you can see, look at that. Look at the detail.
Oh!
Look at the details.
Look at you. You are so...
Details. Yes, so vectorize is insanely powerful. Now, this is great, but not quite what I want. I don't want a photorealistic image. I just want some type. So we're going to change that back to sketch. And as we wait for that to change back to sketch, boop, there we go. We can change if we want strokes or we want fills. Here, I do want fills. And just like desktop, you can change all of these options. So I'm going to bring up a whole bunch of paths so we get it really gritty. Bring those corners all the way down so we have it nice and sharp. And then the noise, I'm going to give it just a little bit of noise so it picks up a lot of these little details. Yeah,
I love that because you just made it look like gritty, like it was designed to be gritty. Like, ooh. Exactly,
right? And so I love to do ignore white. That gives us just a plain vector. And I'm going to hit expand vectorization. And boom, now the object is expanded. If I want to, I can just double click in here and maybe I want to move the A around a little bit. It is fully editable, fully vector. What?
Oh my goodness.
What?
I'm palming my forehead right now because that is just it's a lot. It's a lot to take in and it's all yours.
It is magic. It is absolute magic.
We get to do this now.
So that's what I wanted to show you here. Please go play around with Vectorize. It is amazing on Illustrator on iPad. And there is a ton of new content as well that's integrated in here. We've got rulers, we've got commenting, lots of fun stuff. But those are the two that I wanted to show you. Now we're going to take this file. And if we want to cut back to my face, I'm actually going to switch over to the main screen. So that's saved as I closed it. Thanks so much, iPad. You have been so trusty during this time. But it is time for us to switch over into Illustrator on desktop.
Let's do it.
I'm going to go ahead and share my desktop here.
And I want to know in the chat while we're kind of getting all this stuff going, I want people to let us know which thing that we have shown so far is your favorite. Like, which one are you going to be using first and what are you going to make? I got to know.
Got to know. All right. So check this out. I already have it live updated here. It is already, it was a cloud document. So it is synced across the apps and it is already updated. I can simply click here and watch this. It's downloading. Boom.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, look at this. Oh, did I do this in desktop? No, I did this on iPad.
Yes,
right?
And it's all here.
Amazing for very quick hand lettering. Awesome for making designs on the go and just vectorizing the things that you need. We've got all those nice little gritty textures in all those corners, everything that I love in my work. And yes, vectorize, hands down to vectorize. I agree. So this is awesome. And we can make all the adjustments that we want here, changing colors. We could have done this on iPad as well. But what I want to do is I'm actually going to change things over and show you, yes, someone just said it in chat, 3D in Illustrator.
Please, I need to see this. This is going to be one of my favorites.
Wild. Wild. Okay, so let's jump in. And you know, I love type. I absolutely love type. I love playing with type, love creating type. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to type out the word max here. And I just use the type tool, which is T is that hotkey. And I'm using S to scale things up. If you want to learn more about hotkeys and how to work in Illustrator in general, where could people watch that kind of content, Val?
You can actually watch content like that on Adobe Live on Behance, and you can also find lists of all of your the best go-to shortcuts and things for maneuvering within the app seamlessly. Just from the Adobe help page. They have all of that stuff prepared for you so you can look and get a list of all those things and then come hang out with us on Adobe Live.
Yes, there's content all day showing a little more in depth on all of these. So we're going to click on this Max and here we go. We're going to go to effects.
Drum roll, please.
Wait a minute. There's an extra word here that wasn't there before.
No way.
Materials?
What?
3D classic? We don't want that.
What?
We're ready for 3D. And yes, I love the THREEDEE. That's how you spell it. This is
Yes.
3D.
3D.
We're going to do the extrude and bevel first. This is probably the most complex one. It's going to maybe have their... Let's say it's going to maybe take a second. Nope.
Instantaneous.
Optimized. So we've got some 3D here already ready to go. And we can simply click and drag. If we want to rotate on the axis, we can drag down and it's going to rotate that down for us. If we want to turn it a little bit, we can actually grab and just drag to the side. And you can see that it's doing all those live updates. Now, there also are the rotation settings. We can come in here and let's just do an off axis of the front.
Okay.
So there we go. We've got a cool little off axis front. Looks good to me.
So it kind of positions it for you, gives it a nice little attractive setting there.
Yeah.
Especially if you're jumping in this for the first time and you just, want to go with something that I have set, that's perfect.
Why not? And then we're going to add a bevel to it just to give it some interest. Ooh, that's too much. So we're going to pull this bevel down quite a bit. There we go. That looks fun.
Liking it.
And we're going to add a little bit of depth here.
Okay.
Ooh.
Oh man.
It's looking pretty maxy.
We just went from max to like big mood max
Yes.
is what we just did.
And this is an entirely new interface. If you haven't used, or if you've used the old version of this is an entirely new interface. And Aliu is saying this is Illustrator 2021. This is Illustrator 2022. Today is Adobe MAX. All the apps were updated today with new features, which is what we are showing off right now.
So please update your apps, download it, jump in and try this yourself.
What you can do is you can also change the lighting here. So maybe I want the lighting to actually come from the top left. And you can see that it's changed that lighting. Oh my gosh.
Gives us kind of a nice matte.
So well, yeah, it's a nice little matte. You also can add shadows. And right now it's rendering this in real time. So it is a low quality or a kind of mid quality render. But check that out.
Wow.
That's it. Thanks for so much for joining us. That's all.
Yeah, bye.
That's all we need to
Goodbye.
see. Look at how crispy this is.
That's so good.
It's
Can
so
you
good.
imagine designing something like this for the title banner for a case study on Behance? Can you imagine doing that, or throwing a logo or something in here and showing a client what their logo can look like in a 3D space? Boom, throw it in a mock-up, whatever. Like this can take your case studies, your presentations, your everything to the next level.
Yes. And okay, right now you can see here that there are settings for rendering. We have ray tracing. Right now we are set on low. Look at how good this looks on low. We also can render this as a vector if we wanted to. I'm going to, good luck, everyone, going to render this high live while we're streaming, see what happens. I'm going to click on render.
And we might need to dance a little bit.
I was going to put my mic. Yes, it is rendering. It is thinking. Boom.
Oh,
rendered.
Not that long.
Not that long.
Not that long. That's pretty good.
We're over here rendering. Look at that. Look at it.
Rendering in Illustrator.
That is gorgeous.
Who'd have thunk it?
Okay, so we're here. I'm actually going to change this way back to low because we're about to do some more stuff. This is what is called a technology preview that is happening here. And you can find more information if you open this down at the bottom right there. We have materials. We have materials integrated into 3D. Who needs 3D when we can have like 4D, right? So not only is this just a vector shape, right? We've seen vector type. We've seen it. We're over it. What we want is stylized concrete fan paver pavement 3D type. I think that's the vibe that we want. That
is the new trend for 2022. That right there. That sounds perfect. Yes. Loving it. Ooh.
I don't even know if I have words to say.
I know.
We literally just put that in there. And now we have a full material applied to this. So we can actually come in here and we can change all of the tiling. So maybe I want more tiles. We can increase this slider to maybe 5. Oh, it's not going to let me. Maybe this doesn't have. There we go. Horizontal row. It's going to do all of these. It's rendering. There we go.
It's going to just think a little. Oh,
we got more there.
Yes.
And the cool thing is we can also play with the lighting. So right now it's top left. Maybe I want it to hit a little bit more on the front. So we're going to change the lighting to the right. And watch this. It has changed the shadows. It has changed everything for us. We can diffuse that lighting.
That looks really good on that front there. Ooh, yes. Ooh, ambient.
Yes, take it to the max. This is taken to the absolute max. Some awesome 3D stuff. Now, I'm going to show you how to do this as well with some shapes because there are some other versions of 3D. So that's awesome 3D type. We love it. We can also grab a shape here, and let's just grab this little square and let's do a inflate. An inflate is going to be just like that. It's going to turn the shape into a balloon and it's going to blow up that balloon.
Boom. That looks so cool.
Look at our little balloon square.
That's awesome.
Look at the little balloon square.
Oh.
And the great thing about working with this is we can actually see where the lighting is. And let's play around with this. So right now you can see standard. It is coming from that top right. If we change to the top left, this is a great way to understand how lighting works with these new features in Illustrator. From the right, you can see the lighting all the way over there, and diffuse is going to hit it from the center and just make it nice and bubbly. So we're going to make it a little more intense, give it that nice pop. And then we also can move things around, change the softness. So maybe we want it to be a little harder of a light, and maybe we want it super intense, right? And then we can also add in some of those shadows. Right now it's diffuse, so there aren't any shadows, but if we change it to top left, it should hit us with that nice little shadow.
Beautiful.
Look at that little bubble.
I can't believe that. It's adorable.
Look at that little bubble.
Sweet square baby. I love it.
Right?
Yes.
All right, hold on. I need to change the yes, it's just gorgeous. So play around with these. You can do great long shadows. This is an awesome way to play around with dimensional type and make some really, really cool stuff in there.
And you know what that reminds me of, actually, Andrew, is that we have a lot of, like, speaking of 3D and materials and textures and all that sort of stuff, we actually have some really awesome sort of 3D products coming from Adobe, because we have Substance Painter now, and we have Stager, if you folks have seen the information on Stager, which is really cool. And I just want to do like a little PSA real quick. If you guys are sort of thinking about those things while we're talking about 3D stuff and you're looking for them, I do want to point out that all of those things like Stager and Substance and all those things, they kind of have their own little space where they're housed with Adobe. And so I'm going to pull this up. Maybe we can switch over here just for one moment, because I would like to be able to let you folks check this out. I can pop over right here. So we have a little area where we have all of our different 3D collection apps. You can come in, you can check out the Substance 3D, you can check out Stager, you can check out so many cool things, and you can actually come in and render yourself these really awesome totally photorealistic mock-ups and scenes and things, which is really cool. You can create textures and things, and you can make materials, and you can texture 3D models and all that good stuff. So if you were wondering where all that stuff is, if you want to learn a little bit more about Stager, which is super cool, please come over here to this page where you can get more information and check out all of the capabilities and what is in store for you there. So
yeah. And speaking of being on the web, there are also a lot of great resources just on the web, a lot of blogs that Adobe has put out today that have a little more in-depth on all of the things.
Yes.
And while we're on the web, I do want to show one more thing, Val. I'm going to share this Illustrator with you. Okay. So I want your feedback
so we can see.
Yeah, I want your feedback on my little balloon square.
Okay.
And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click on this collaborate up here, and it's going to give me a link. So I'm going to copy that link.
Okay.
And I'm going to send that over to Val in a separate window. Okay. So Val is getting a secret link. Secret. All right. So Val's getting a secret link. And when she opens that link, I'm going to go ahead and close this.
Where are you sending me the secret link?
I Slacked it to you. Okay. I sent that through. So Val will be getting that link, and it is just a shareable link. This is the workflow. And again, when we talk about Creative Cloud, it's not just about these apps. It's about the entire ecosystem and workflow. So we are collaborating now, and I've sent a link over, and now Val is able to open that link. Val, do you have the link open?
I do, indeed.
I feel like a magician. That felt very magician-y.
Yes, it is definitely magician-y. And honestly, I'm thrilled because it's super magic, but it's also amazing because now I have the bubble. I fell in love with the bubble just moments ago, and now he is mine.
Cool.
And I love it. So yeah, maybe I'll give you some feedback on this. I see our bubble is screaming Max because the bubble is very excited to be here. Yep. So I'm just going to leave you a little note. And I'm going to change the color here because I love the bubble. So we're going to get some red here.
Oh, fun. Okay.
Going on. And I'm going to say, normally this is a place where you would, leave feedback for something to change. But I'm going to say,
love the bubble.
I love the bubble. And then I'm going to leave a comment that says, this is perfect. Never change. Perfect.
And I'm very curious specifically about the exclamation mark. Mm-hmm. Do you have any thoughts specifically on that exclamation mark? And could you pin to that exclamation mark so that I could be specific with my feedback?
Like if you have right here, a little pin right here on our feedback here. So you can just see where everything is attached to and what everything does. And I can also you can use this pin just to be very, very precise with exactly what you're talking about. Let me see if I can.
So it looks like, can you leave me just a pin on the exclamation mark, maybe to change the color? Maybe we don't like the color of the exclamation mark. So
yeah. Boom. Okay.
Move that over. Boom. And let's go ahead and have you close that and watch what happens. If we switch back to my screen, I am currently in the desktop app, right? I'm not at all in the interface that Val just was in. And watch what happens. We're opening on desktop. Boom. Drum roll, please. And you can see on desktop right away, it is showing over here in a new panel down at the bottom. It has this little comment, and this is a brand new panel that was just added. It's integrated. We have our comments from Val hanging out, and we have her sketches over here. This is perfect. Never change. Absolutely love that. And so I can say, hey, thanks so much. Thanks. Love it too. And then submit. Right? It exists all together in an ecosystem all at the same time. And if we wanted to, we can come in and make changes, or when I resolve this, thanks so much, love it, it goes away. Mm-hmm. So no longer do we have to go back and forth between web. We can do it all here in Illustrator. And if I wanted to just share this document, we can do that all here. I can just write a comment and we can do all of that within the program for the first time ever, which is magical. All right, Val, we have a few minutes left, and I do want to talk again about some of the community live events that are happening today.
Yes,
can we take a look at the schedule one more time, and then I'm going to show you all where you can find the rest of the info about what is new in all of these Adobe programs. Val, take it away.
So we've got a lot of stuff going on over on for Max and the community lounge, all this good stuff. If you guys are interested, please check out the First Takes photography with Christy Udom. It's going to be amazing. I've had the pleasure of watching Christy work before, and so I'm very excited about that. We've got Claudia from Print My Soul, one of our Behance Adobe Live OGs, is going to be doing First Takes for graphic design at about 1 p.m. Pacific, followed by Aaron Draplin, who's going to be doing the Meet the Max Speaker segment, and then First Takes of illustration with Kathleen. I'm actually going to be there with Kathleen for that segment, so I hope that you folks will join us. We've got a lot of really awesome stuff coming in for all of you illustrators out there. It's going to be fabulous, so I can't wait to be able to show all that stuff off to you. We have Ken Lashley, who's coming up for another Meet the Max Speaker segment at 3 p.m. And then we will follow that up with a Meet Max Speaker with Katrin Eisman. So I am very pumped. I think it's going to be kind of a jam-packed day of epicness. I can't wait for you to meet all these folks if you haven't met them, and revisit all of your favorite designer friends if you've seen them before and are here to see new features, to support them, and kind of dive into what's new. So it's going to be epic. If you want all of what's new, one, stay tuned for the rest of the day in the community live lounge. But two, you can go to the Adobe blog, and the Adobe blog has a great write-up with everything that is new to Creative Cloud. And if we want to flip over, to my screen, perfect. One thing that we didn't talk about, we talked about creativity and talked about collaboration. One thing we didn't talk about is this amazing new private beta that is happening for Creative Cloud Spaces and Canvas. It is an amazing new experience. And I believe that there was some of that in the keynotes. I've gotten a little hands-on with it, and it is
gorgeous, amazing, groundbreaking workflow. It's like being able to mood board with all of your friends on a project all at the same time. So some amazing features there.
Fabulous.
You can find out more about today, but you can scroll through this and find out more about the stuff that we didn't get to cover
There's those horses
during
we
this
talked
live.
about.
There's those horses.
There's those horses. Hey, horses.
Hey, horses. So lots of great stuff. And again, the integrations of the 3D and surfaces in Illustrator is my favorite feature. Val, what's your favorite thing that was announced today?
My favorite thing that was announced today so far has been the 3D with Illustrator. Neural filters, obviously, I have too much fun with those, and I am going to get a lot of mileage out of the object selection tool. Is going to be a big one for me with the hover to select items and everything. That's going to be part of my everyday process, 100%.
For me, it's got to be the vectorize in Illustrator on iPad. That's something that I've wanted since day one, is being able to just type and get dirty and inky on a regular table and be able to scan that in and vectorize it. So I'm really excited for that. Chat, let us know what your favorite things are that you saw today that you're experiencing, and make sure that you stick around for a while, because we have a ton of more content coming to you throughout the day here on the Community Live Lounge. 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time is when it starts, and that link is max.adobe.com/community.
Yes, please check it out.
And if you are going to put something on your calendar, put this on your calendar from next week. We have daily creative challenges that happen every single day. And where do those happen and what are they, Val?
They are these really awesome, totally free to the community challenges and lessons that will teach you how to use Photoshop, Illustrator, Adobe XD. Sometimes we even do video challenges and things. I myself teach the Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge sometimes. And you, which one do you teach?
I'll be teaching the Illustrator Daily Creative Challenge starting early November. So join me for that every day, 11:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
You can jump in, you can grab starter files, you can follow along with us for little classes and challenges every morning. And then you can join our Discord communities where we can give you feedback. You can get feedback from other mentors and learn and improve your skills. This is for people who are looking to scrub up on skills, or beginners. If you've never touched these programs before and you want to learn, we will teach you. We will teach you.
So thanks for joining us today. That's all that we have to show. And one thing that I want to leave with all of you is this idea of Creative Cloud being more than these programs, right? And so my charge to you this week is, don't just use Creative Cloud, be a part of Creative Cloud, right? We're talking about creativity for all. It's for you and you and you and all the people around you. So join a chat, join a Discord, post something on social media, use that hashtag, and get involved with the ecosystem that is Creative Cloud. And we'll see you in the cloud. Bye.
We will. Adios, folks.